We're back. More of the ensembles on now versus before when you saw me in the bathrobe. So getting ready with me, not literally, because no, YouTube rules, they kind of frown upon that. So we skip some steps. But black tie at its core and the fundamental of what some of the things you want to look for, some of the things you want to do, is simple. Black tie means black tuxedo or midnight blue. That's at its core. Those are your only, for as far as a full tuxedo goes, those are the only options. Anything outside of that, you are marching to your own drum, which is fine. I mean, you do you. But if that dress code for that invite says formal or black tie only, then you want to midnight blue or black. If you're buying your first tuxedo, I recommend black because it's gonna be versatile for something else we'll talk about a little bit when we get into like dinner jackets. From a technical standpoint, those are the options. Don't just because celebrities do stuff, don't do it. You know, there's times to be an individual, there's times to be conformed. History of black tie and going, let's take a couple steps back. The ideal was that all the men would be kind of uniformly dressed and the women would show up in their ball gowns and they, you know, pick different gowns, different colors, different patterns, whatnot. It was their time to shine. It's also your time to shine because that's like the epitome of the highest formality of male dress code. White tie is a little higher, but you don't see that often. We can have another video about that. But for the most part, what most men will do, it's gonna be black tie. So yeah, you want to be uniform to some extent. There's ways to stand out even wearing black tie. But for the most part, as core, if your first tuxedo, black is what I would go with, or midnight blue. I like midnight blue, but I also have a few options in my closet as well, just because I do it so often. The next thing you want to look for, lapels. Peak lapels or shawl lapel. Again, only two options. Sometimes I get they do sell notch lapels, but that's too informal. That's like what daytime suits are. You can wear that in some things I say like semi-formal events, where that means you can either wear a tuxedo if you want to, or you can wear like a nice dark charcoal suit, a dark navy suit. Things like that would be more formal and look more polished. But for the most part, peak lapels or a shawl collar is what you want to go with. The other thing, shirt options for black tie. You don't want to wear a regular button-down shirt. If you have nothing else, and this is like you know first time you're kind of getting yourself together with this, and you have nothing else, by all means you could do it and get away with it. And in this day and age, people don't notice that stuff, but there are places you can go where people will notice. They may not say anything to you or make fun of you or anything like that, but it's going to be kind of unspoken. We've all been in those situations where you know people are talking about you, and even though they may not say it to your face, you know how that is. So back to that, yeah, you can march your own drum, I don't care, blah blah, but I don't recommend that. Like, you know, just sometimes you have to pay to play in society depending on what you're trying to do and what your goals are. So this is a tuxedo shirt, and this one there's many options. This is again back to how you can stand out in black tie. This one has a placard on it, which generally they will. Some won't have the placards. They'll be a little bit thinner too, like a tuxedo shirt. This one has a placard. This one accepts studs. You can wear buttons with it, but if you're gonna wear buttons, again, some people who are super formal about it, there's some other YouTube videos that cover that type of stuff who are more into the history and the style aspects and all the classic black tie. Generally speaking, you don't wanna wear the buttons unless it's like with an ivory dinner jacket. You can wear either way buttons, no plastic ones. You want mother of pearl buttons. And you can Google, there's some places that sell mother of pearls and you can get the little button strip that goes underneath. If it comes with a button strip, generally it's gonna be plastic. You want to ditch that. And you can tell mother of pearl buttons from plastic buttons, and they elevate the shirt even more. I chose this shirt, I'm running studs with it. So your studs, sky's the limit with the stud set. And you can get into creative, they don't have to be black, they could be, I have different sets, I have mother of pearl stud sets. You can do that. You also can do shirts that have a placard on it where it doesn't have, sorry, not placard, it has a fly front, where it's basically, this will all be solid, so the buttons would be hidden. And those buttons will be plastic, the hidden buttons, that's different, but then this would be blank and it's super clean. I like to do that when I wear like a dinner jacket, which is like the velvet dinner jacket you see. That works better for that. In my opinion, it looks a little cleaner. It kind of just, you know, because dinner jackets, yes, it can be a tuxedo, you can wear it to a formal event. It just depends. But I say it's a little less formal than wearing a full-on matching tuxedo where it's the matching jacket and pants, but I digress on that one. That's splitting hairs. Just know your audience and know where you're going in that case. The cufflinks, you know, match my stud set. I've heard people say that the stud set and the cufflinks don't have to match. I match them because it just depends on what kind of cufflinks you're wearing. And I don't know, just cufflinks for men, because men don't wear a lot of jewelry, generally speaking. I mean, you can obviously wear gold chains, but and things like that, and other forms of jewelry. But generally for men, it's the watch and cufflinks are our jewelry. So if I'm wearing something that's a little bolder cufflink, then I don't know, it just sometimes could not. If you're a little more advanced in style, you probably can pull that off. Just have fun with it, basically. But yeah, wherever stud and cufflink set, you have the sky's the limit with that. The other thing, the bow tie. Black tie means a black bow tie, not a black necktie. I remember that trend in the late 90s started where especially celebrities were seen going out there with the black neckties, and then tuxedo rental places started doing that. I think they probably still do it, to be honest. I stay out of those places. Like, that is not where you should go get your tuxedo from. I get if you just think it's gonna be a one-time deal, but even if you wear it once, it's worth buying it for the cost of what a rental does, and it's gonna look way better, and you're gonna enjoy it more and have more opportunities. You'll find opportunities to wear it. But if you have to go to a rental place, then unless it's a wedding where obviously you don't really have a say in what. If you're the groom, you have a say probably, but if you're a guest, you probably don't. If you're like a groomsman or usher, that type of thing. But bow tie, don't do the necktie. Bow tie is how you want to go. You want a self-tie bow tie. Don't do the little strap in the back. Don't do a clip-on. We're adults here. Clip-ons, that once you're old enough to learn how to tie a tie, you should be able to do a tuxedo tie. Again, I mean, I'm not gonna expect a 10-year-old to be able to tie a bow tie. Some can, I'm sure, but and they may be able to pick up a regular tie. I think I probably was able to tie a regular tie. Learned probably 5th, 6th grade. So I think that is about 10, 11. I don't think I'd be able to tie a bow tie. Maybe I could have. I don't know. I didn't have the opportunity to. But yeah, once you're an adult, self-tie. It looks more elegant. At the end of the night, you can pull it, and it just dangles around the neck. It's super classy and
sexy.
Anyhow, so yeah, the bow tie. Now, there's some options with that, however. Like tonight, my ensemble is going to be a velvet dinner jacket for New Year's Eve. I'll get more in the dinner jacket, but I have this bow tie here. It's velvet. It's made by the Whatnot for me, so you cut it for me custom. Now, this one, you just said no straps and things like that. This is like what is so cool because it's like a hybrid where this is self-tie. So I hook this together. There's buttons here. If I take this apart, it's self-tie. Like I can tie a bow tie. I tie this up regularly once I do it at the end of the night, and I pull it and do the dangling thing. However, it takes a little time to tie a bow tie. It doesn't have to be symmetrical. Like when you tie them, they shouldn't be perfect. That's how you can tell like a fake tie from a real, genuine, self-tie tie, is that it shouldn't be perfectly symmetrical. This is a gorgeous like dog ear tie. It's very vintage and retro looking. I like love this look and style with certain dinner jackets, but it goes together like this, and you tie it like normal. And then the nice part is you can take it off by just unhooking the button, which I like because it does give you the option to tie it ahead of time, just if you're time pinched. I've been there where things just got rushed, and I'm like sitting there fiddling with that tie. And I'm not. Some people can tie them right off the rip and give them the first time. I can't. I'm gonna be honest. I'm out myself. I can't. It takes me a couple times to get it down, and it takes up time. Depending on what you have going on. So this is a good option. I have another one from in England. They do that too. It was out of the movie. Can't think today. Casino Royale. The Casino Royale tie in the James Bond movie, from a very reputable English Savile Row store, and that one has the same type of feature on it, where you can actually unhook it. I think it may have, is it a button or it's a hook? One of the two. Same thing, you have to tie it manually yourself, and then you can just unclip it and just leave it that way if you want to. It doesn't matter, or at the end of the night, pull it and dangle it, the options there. But that's the only time you want to do something like this. Other than that, again, that style is still self-tie. You have to be able to tie it, so, but no clip-ons. Cummerbunds. I don't care as much as I love James Bond. I don't care what James Bond does. This is a must. If you're wearing a tuxedo jacket that's single button, you have to wear this, right? That's not an option. I mean, you obviously do what you want to do, but rules of black tie, this goes on. All right, it finishes the look. It keeps your waist from being exposed, what they say. Granted, with your shirt tucked in, your waist's not physically exposed, but that line between the pants and your shirt, this is what finishes that out. Wear the pleats up. The history of that is because men used to put their tickets in there for events, their opera, wherever you're going to. So you want the pleats to be up when you wear that. If you're wearing a double-breasted tuxedo jacket, then you don't have to wear the cummerbund, because the idea is you're not going to ever walk around with that jacket open. But if you're walking again with the normal jacket, you could be wearing like, you can unbutton it sometimes. You may not have it, especially when you're sitting down. It's going to be unbuttoned, things like that. Two options. I take that back: cummerbund or waistcoat, which is like a vest, and not a vest that goes up like a suit vest where it's like buttons up to like here. A tuxedo vest is going to be deeper cut, so you see that in rental places. Don't, again, it's awful. They shouldn't do it. It's a crime. But you want to have a jacket, a vest that has that deeper kind of curvature. I wear a cummerbund out and do the vest, and I have a double-breasted dinner jacket. But I'm still going to wear this. You can wear the cummerbund with that still. But I personally like the cummerbund look. The vest, it's not for me, really. But you have the option there. But if you're wearing the vest, you don't need the cummerbund. The other thing I want to talk about, shoes. Two options. You can polish up, if you're on a budget, polish up some dress shoes, some Oxfords, no derby shoes. Try to do capless Oxford, not cap toe, something capless. Shine up the toe and the heel really well, almost like a military type shine. That's what you want to do. Or patent leather. The best option is just for tuxedos. If you're getting a tuxedo, do a patent leather shoe. That's what I would recommend. That's the way to go if you're getting into it. But if you're starting out and on a budget, polish up some dress shoes you have. Whole cut Oxfords work the best and look super elegant, or it's a regular Oxford, lace up. No broguing, those type of things. That's too informal. Watch, formal rules of black tie. People say no watches, but you can do a watch. It goes back to like you're being rude if you're like at a party checking your time and things like that. But most time you're going to black tie event today, it's not like a private party necessarily. It could be like a private like fundraiser, things like that. But a lot of times it could be like a corporate event where it's like hosted by your company, or you could be going to like an elegant, night out at the orchestra or opera, things like that. It's rare people hold black tie dinner parties. You may need to check the time. Literally, there are times when if you have a babysitter or something, you need to see if you only say I'm gonna be gone 3 hours, you need to be able to check that, or various reasons. So it's not necessarily rude. I wouldn't do it while I'm talking to someone. That would be rude. But if you need to step away from your conversation, check the time. I mean, now we have phones. I have my phone with me while I have my tuxedo on, but I don't sit there. You shouldn't be monkeying around on that. That takes away from the ambiance and the specialness of the event. So if you're gonna do a watch, speed this up. It should be a simple dress watch. No dive watches. I know, James, but don't do it. Just don't do it. No dive watches. It should be simple, no complications on it. Made out of precious metal and a leather band. Generally, they say like a crocodile band, something like that. Black leather band's fine. Precious metals, yeah, if you have it. Obviously, those are very expensive. That's not like, and that's like if you're really just into black tie, you may have, or use like old school dress watches. But most people even then don't have like a gold watch or white gold watch or yellow gold or platinum or silver. Like most don't, especially nowadays. This is a vintage watch, and it checks all those boxes. But again, you can get eBay tons of vintage gold watches, and those won't break the bank obviously because they are vintage. But you can get like Rolexes, things like that, Omegas, Jaeger Cultra, all those type of watches, and you can go sky's the limit on gold watches. I'm into that, so again, I have one. But that's what you want to wear, something thin that goes under the cuffs. Last thing we talked about shoes, talk about ties, pocket squares. You can wear one. If you do, it should be white linen, simple. But that's one of those things we talked about you can change. You can change and put on like some little bit of pop of color or something in that pocket square. Generally, rule of black tie, you can change one thing. Your tie should stay black. I didn't mention that. Whatever tie you wear with your bow tie should be black. If it's like created black tie, dress code, which we're not going to talk about that stuff here, you can have fun with it, but we're saying traditional, it should be black. So yeah, you can change your pocket square up, but generally speaking, if you're just starting out, white linen, that's what you want. And just fold it up nice, keep it simple, or you can do some more creative folds with it, but easy, simplistic, just that simple rectangle slides down and they're really nice, and it's good to go. Lastly, last thing we'll cover is just dinner jackets versus a full tuxedo. Dinner jacket is basically when you're doing a dinner jacket, you want to look like you're wearing a tuxedo. Tuxedo pants, then it has that stripe down the side, the golan it's called. That'll go down the side. You'll wear everything else you'd wear with it, like your tuxedo shirt with your studs or your fly front. All that stuff stays the same. Black bow tie. The only thing you change is the jacket. I would stay away from anything ridiculously loud or too crazy bold, in my opinion. If that's your personality type, then certainly by all means, know your audience, know where you're going with it. I like today I have a chocolate color dinner jacket that's double-breasted velvet. Velvet's always great for the fall to maybe spring, somewhere in there. I'd say early spring. Once it starts getting warmer, then velvet you want to get away from. Christmas time, you see sometimes the black wash tartan jackets, things like that. But yeah, I have like a jacquard print. I don't have the tartan one, but I have the jacquard, no, houndstooth. Sorry, not jacquard, but you can do a jacquard print. But houndstooth print shawl collared dinner jacket. So yeah, you can mix and match it. But again, it's still a tuxedo. It's just you're changing the jacket for wearing the matching pants. So that's why I say go with black, because back to tying that back into versatile. Midnight blue you can certainly pair with stuff, like you can wear ivory dinner jacket, midnight blue pants, things like that. But I personally, I just stick with black pants with a dinner jacket, just because it gets more complicated and it's a little bit more advanced as far as black tie goes. One thing I didn't hit on, socks. Over the calf socks, man. Gentlemen, please, over the calf. Last thing you want is to cross your legs or walk in, you know, your pants come a little bit and you see like your bare leg. That's just not acceptable when you're wearing a tuxedo. Shouldn't be acceptable at any point in time, but like most guys, we don't every day wear, even with suits, you sometimes wear like that mid-calf type sock, and it's not a big deal there. But with a tuxedo, over the calf, the best is silk. Get yourself a pair of silk socks. You'll thank me for that. When you wear a tuxedo, it looks really elegant. If you can't afford them, or you can't find them for some reason locally, but you can certainly order them. I can, if you in the comments, I can direct you some spots. But silk, yeah, that's what you want. But you can do like a black cotton or just some kind of thin dress sock made out of some other material, but just thin black. You can switch your socks. That's another one of those little things you can change, but just make it classy. Don't do anything like ridiculously weird, unless you're at an event where it makes sense, like a social club or something like that. But like when I've worn my, my burgundy dinner jackets, I've worn burgundy shadow striped socks, and it looks really elegant. It ties together. Or my navy one, same thing, navy socks. You can do that. But that's all. That's my main thing. So I'm gonna get ready, get my jacket on, get ready to get down to the party for the reception, even though I'm having a drink and heading down the cocktail reception. But I wanted to be like an intimate experience with my audience here. So cheers, have a great New Year's. If you have questions, leave them in the comment. As always, like and subscribe, please. And stay tuned for the next video. But this will get you going for any black tie event. Unfortunately, it's probably too late for New Year's Eve, but you'll be ready for anything else. When do I wear black tie outside New Year's Eve? Random trips to the orchestra, fancy cocktail lounges like speakeasies, things like that. You don't need a formal event to wear a tuxedo. You can make your own event. I call the $100 date night. Get you some tickets to orchestra concert. That leaves you enough room for probably like one drink or something like for you and your date at a nice cocktail lounge, and you will own that room. If you walk in a tuxedo and she has a dress on, looking amazing, and you don't have to break the bank. You can spend more than 100. Certainly, you can add dinner into that and all that. But if you're just like trying to do something nice and don't have a lot of pocket change, and you want to elevate, and just do something special, that's the way to do it. So, yeah, we'll talk, and again, see you in 2025. All right, take care, everybody.